crocheters, welcome to the Mary Tejidos channel. I'm Mary, and it's a pleasure for me to share a new tutorial with you. For this class, I have prepared the detailed step-by-step instructions for this beautiful bag. Look how beautiful and delicate it is. It's a bag with a very good structure, made with single crochet. Look at how beautiful this stitch is. We will be adding a vegan leather base. I will explain all the details to you step by step. We are also going to make this flap with puff stitch. And here I will answer many of your questions, especially how to make a perfect puff stitch. Here I will give you all the tricks and all the details so that your flap turns out just as beautiful. It's a delicate, elegant bag, and it's a great size. I hope you'll stay with me until the end of the class, enjoy the process, and put it into practice. If that's the case, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment as a sign of appreciation. I also invite you to share this content on all your social media so that our community continues to grow and we can reach people with emotional and therapeutic needs. Remember that with crochet, the world is better. Now let's go to the list of materials, followed by the step-by-step instructions. We are going to work with the following materials. You can get the hardware and accessories from the online store Tassel. In the video description, I will leave you the link to their shopping page. I have a vegan leather base. This one is 23 centimeters long by 8 centimeters wide. You can use whatever base you have available. Measuring tape, 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. This will be our main hook. 4 millimeter crochet hook. We'll use it to weave in ends. A clasp. This one is 4 centimeters high by 4 centimeters wide. Stitch markers. A lobster clasp ring with a diameter of 2 centimeters. 2 lobster clasp rings with a diameter of 3 centimeters. A tassel cap. A personalized plate with a channel name. This one is optional. Scissors. I will be working with Trapillo Premium. This is from T-shirt yarn skein. This is a machine-made T-shirt yarn with a strand 3 centimeters wide. It's lightweight and very soft when crocheting. In the video description, I will leave the exact amount of material we will be using for this project. We start the process by working on the base. This is a simple vegan leather base. It has a total of 42 spaces and measures 23 centimeters long and 8 centimeters wide. I'm going to be working with a 4 millimeter hook. And if you're wondering, Mary, which hook should I use? That will depend on the base. Some bases have larger spaces, others have smaller ones. You are going to take the small hooks you have available and you will keep testing until the hook goes in without any difficulty. So that's when you select the hook that best fits your base. Before working the first round of the base, we are going to locate the spaces where we will make the increases. I'm going to divide the corner of the base here with the hook. And in this first stitch, I'm going to place a marker. I count 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and in the third one, I place the next marker. We've already placed the markers in the corners. We leave an increase, 2 spaces, an increase, 2 spaces, an increase, 2 spaces. We have an increase here, and here we leave 11 stitches free. If you are working the base with a thinner material, you should make more increases here. You can adjust by making an increase. 1 free stitch, an increase, 1 free stitch. That will depend on the thickness of the material you are working with. Sometimes you build up the base, and as you go up, you notice that the body starts to close in. That's because the base needed more increases. So, when you do this first step and see that the base is a little tight, even on the base, when you do the first round of single crochet, it starts to close in. Undo it and add 1 more increase. You can do this right here in the center of the sides. So, everything will depend on the process or the bag you are making and the material you are working with. If you need to undo the work, undo it and start over until you see that the base is completely flat. So here, we start the first round and we're going to leave about 20 centimeters to close the next round. So we're going to pass the needle through the first space. I always work in the center. I go through here and pick up the yarn. I bring this forward, and I'm going to take the yarn that comes from the skein and go through the next space. I pick up the yarn. And here, I'm going to make a slip stitch. I'm going to pass the first loop through the one we already had. And this way, I add a little bit of height until I reach the next space. I insert the needle, yarn over. I add height and slip. I go into the next one. And here I slip. Notice that we're giving height to the chains so that the base doesn't get too tight or close up. We pass the needle into the next space. Yarn over, add height and slip. Here where the marker is. We're going to make the last stitch here. We go into the space, but here, instead of taking the yarn from the skein, we're going to take the short strand we've set aside. Yarn over. We slip it through the space. And we pull through. With this strand, we're going to close the round. We pass the needle under this first chain, here on the side. We take the reserved strand. We bring it underneath. We pass the needle through the center of the last space, and it will come out here, in the center of the chain. We take the yarn, and we move it to the back. See that here is the chain. We tighten it a little bit. We complete the round with a slip stitch. This is how the base looks, here in the back. Look how it turned out. The chains are not too tight. See that they're all the same size. Now we're going to do the first round with single crochet, and we're going to do it in the center of the chain. We're going to position ourselves here, where we made the closure. See, it's where the short strand is. We take the yarn coming from the skein and insert the hook here into this first stitch, in the center of the chain. We yarn over. We pull up a loop. We yarn over and pull through. We go through the center of the next chain. We yarn over. We raise it to the level of the little loop that's on the hook. We yarn over and pull through too. We go through the center of the next one and raise it up. We finish the stitch and repeat the process. We'll make the increase here at the marker. We pass the hook through. And in that space, we're going to make 2 stitches. 1. We go through again. We pull up the loop. And 2. We make a single crochet in the next one. In the next one. And here where the marker is, we make an increase. We make the first stitch. The second one. We work 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. On the next marker, we increase. We work 2 single crochets. And here at the last marker, we increase. We finish the increases on this side. Now we're going to work single crochet until we reach the next marker, where we'll make an increase. Here, 2 single crochets. Increase at each marker. Single crochet until you get here to the last chain. We pass the hook through the center of the last chain. And here, we're not going to take the strand that comes from the skein, but the short strand that we've set aside. Yarn over. We lift it up. With the same strand, we finish the stitch. We pull it out. We pass the needle under the first complete chain. Notice that this one is located on the second stitch, not in the first stitch, because this one is incomplete. It's missing the chain or the top loop. I want you to keep this in mind, because people are asking me, Mari, my joins are coming out crooked. They keep folding over, and that's because you're doing it in this first stitch. You don't make the join here, but always. In the second stitch, which is where the chain is, you go behind, here. Look, we go under the chain. We take the reserved strand. We bring it to the back. Look, we tighten it. We pass the needle under the bump that's at the back and in the center of the last chain. We take the reserved strand and bring it to the back. So look, here we formed the chain of that first stitch. We tighten it and pass it here. This closure is perfect when you're working on the base. Always try to leave the reserved strand so the base can have this finish. Look here, we've already finished the whole process. See how it looks here in the back? And notice that the base isn't twisted. See how straight it is. We made a total of 50 stitches, and the base ended up measuring 25 centimeters long. For the width, 10 centimeters. Now, let's work on the body of the bag. We'll do the first round using single crochet. We turn the piece, and we're going to insert the hook into the center of the chain, picking up the top loop and the back bump. We start working with the 5.5 millimeter hook. We insert it into the center of the chain and pick up the yarn coming from the skein. Look, we go through here and under the back bump. We yarn over. We pull up a loop, and we close the stitch. We go through the center of the next chain and under the back bump. We yarn over. We pull up a loop to the height of the loop on the hook, yarn over, and close the stitch. In the center of the chain, and under the little bump. This is how our single crochets are looking. We're going to work one stitch in the center of each chain, also picking up the little bump on the back, all along the edge of the base, until we reach this last stitch. Let's make the last stitch. Insert the hook into the center of the chain. And under the little bump that's on the back, we yarn over, pull up a loop, and finish the stitch. Here we're going to make the join, which we'll use to close all the rounds. We lift up this little loop and insert the hook under the first chain. Look, it's the one that's located on the second stitch, 1 and 2. From back to front, we take the reserved loop and pull it to the back. We finish this round with a total of 50 stitches, the same number of stitches we ended the base round with. Notice that here we haven't made any increases and we've separated the base from the body of the bag, leaving this strand. Here we can see that we're already moving up, and whenever you finish a round, make sure to organize the stitches and arrange them very well. See how our base is nice and straight, it hasn't twisted. See how it looks. Let's work on the second round, and here is where the stitch pattern we'll use for this project will begin. We will continue making this with single crochet, but here the way we do it will change a little bit. So here, pay close attention, we're going to start the next round. We pass the hook under the strand that we brought to the back. We place the reserved loop on the hook and we're going to tighten the strand. We tighten this strand until it's the same size as the other chains. Like this. We take the yarn again, pull it through both, and here we make the first stitch. In that same space, we're going to make another stitch. That means there will be 2 stitches in the same spot. We have 2 stitches. In the next stitch, we are not going to work. We count 1, skip it, and in the next one is where we are going to make the other stitch. So in this stitch, we are not going to work. We count 1, and in the second one, we make 2 stitches. We move to the next one, we don't work, and in the following one, we make 2 stitches. So we're going to work 1 stitch, skip 1, work 1 stitch, skip 1, work 1 stitch, skip 1. We count 1, 2. We go under the entire chain and make a stitch. We go through that same chain again. And we complete the second stitch. We don't work in the next one, we go into the following one. And we make a stitch. We pass the hook through that stitch again. And we complete the second one. We move to the next one, don't work it, and make a single crochet in the following stitch. Again in the same stitch. Look how it turns out. 2 stitches in 1 stitch, skip the next one. 2 stitches in 1 stitch, skip the next one. We keep working, right? In the next one, 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Here we have 3 stitches left. We count 1. And in the second one, we make a single crochet. 1 and 2. We have 1 stitch left. And that's normal because we're working 1 stitch, skipping 1. So we started with 2 stitches. We finished with a skipped stitch. What do? We add height to this little loop. And we finish off, leaving that stitch in the center. We go under the first full chain stitch, which is the one located on the second stitch. We grab the little loop, place it on the hook, and take it to the back. There. There, look how it looks. We finish this first round with 50 stitches. Here, we don't make any increases. The only thing we did was change the order of the steps. Instead of making 1 stitch under each chain, we made 2 stitches. On one chain, yes. On the next, no. On one chain, yes. On the next, no. And look at the beautiful pattern that's forming on the piece. Here in this second round, because of what we did, we can notice that the piece is curving a little. This is normal because it's only the second round. And we're working on this stitch pattern. So here, as you make the others, it will start to take shape. What you do need to do is keep adjusting the piece, organizing the stitches, so that they look really nice. You're going to hide this leftover yarn under the stitches with the help of a smaller needle. We're going to start round number 3. I want you to pay close attention because this is how you'll start the other rounds. Every round in this project will be started this way. So, what are you going to do? Look, we've brought the yarn to the back here. We started the previous one by passing the needle underneath, but we're not going to do it that way this time. We're going to insert the needle into the stitch we didn't work on. Look here. Do you remember how we worked one stitch and skipped the next? In the stitches we skipped, in this round, we're going to work into them. So here, notice that we didn't work into the last one. We're going to pass the needle under that chain, right there, in the space I'm showing you here. You go through there, place the reserved loop on the needle, and tighten. Here, until this strand is the same size as the other chains. You need to do it this way so you don't leave a visible seam on the piece. Yarn over. Pull through and pull it up. You really need to pull it up here. Close it, pass the needle again through that same spot. Remember, it's 2 stitches in the same spot. And pull up. Up to the level of the loop on the hook. Yarn over and close. So here we already have the first 2 stitches. Here in the next stitch, where the previous 2 stitches are, we're not going to work, but instead we move to the next stitch, the one below, here. See, here are the 2 stitches we worked, and right next to them is the stitch we didn't work, here. We'll insert the hook into that chain. Not in this one, in the next one. Not in this one, where the 2 stitches are, but in the chain where we didn't work in the previous round. Here it is. We can open it a little, and there we see it. Look right there. Here we open it a little, and look here. Here, look. Here are the 2 stitches from the previous round. We open it a little, go under that chain, yarn over, and make a stitch. We go through again. We make the second stitch. Here we have 2 stitches left. We move on to the next one. Look, here it is. We go under that chain, start a single crochet, go through again, and make a single crochet. We make the last stitch here. We open it and look where the chain is. We go under and make the first stitch, go through again, and complete the second stitch there. We finished this round here. Look how you can already see the pattern. We add height and make the closure. We pass the needle under the first complete chain, from back to front. We take the reserved loop on the needle and bring it to the back. We adjust it very well here. Look how it looks. Here, to start the next round, look, we have these 2 stitches. We go through the center, which is this space here. Here, look, there are the 2 stitches. You go through the center. In the center. So here, we open by going through the center of these 2 stitches. Look, it's right here. Here, in the middle of the 2 stitches from the previous round, look here. There. Place the reserved loop on the needle. Yarn over. Make the first stitch. Pass it again. And make the second stitch. Next, locate both stitches and go through the center. Make the first stitch. Pass through again. And make the second stitch. So here we have 1 and 2. Pass through the center of the 2 stitches. Look how the pattern is already showing. Here we can see it better and it looks beautiful. Let's do the last one here. Let's locate the 2 stitches. We go through the middle. It should come out here. We do the first one. We go through again. And we do the second one. Look, they're turning out like long single crochets. See how the pattern is turning out. We're going to close round 4. See, it's the same one we've done in the previous rounds. To start the round, we do the same thing as before. We're going to do it in between these 2 stitches, and on the strand that's underneath. Look here where it is. Place the reserved loop on the hook. We tighten the stitch until the upper strand is the same size as the others. Yarn over. And here we make the first stitch. We go through that stitch again. And we make the second stitch. Look, here we've already started round number 5. This is the same process we're going to do throughout the whole round. Here we locate the center of the 2 stitches. Look here so you can see. We go through the bottom strand. Not the top one, but the bottom one. Always through the bottom strand. There we're going to make 2 stitches. We locate the next 2. We open them. We pass the needle through the bottom strand. Here. Look, here's the chain stitch. We make a stitch. And the second one. We bring this loop up. And we close by passing the needle under the first full chain stitch. From back to front. We take the small loop on the needle and move it to the back. Here we finish round number 5. And look how the stitch pattern turned out. See how beautiful the stitches look. We are going to continue working the stitches this way until we reach the desired height. I will go ahead and work a few more rounds, and then we'll continue. I finished the height of the bag. This is how the stitches look. Look how beautiful they are. They look like little clouds. It's a very structured stitch with a beautiful finish. Here, I worked a total of 21 rounds. How are you going to identify them? We start here at the first round going up, which we did with single crochet, and we're going to count in a zigzag pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'll show you what the base looks like. Look how pretty it is. A very firm base, with a beautiful finish. If you want, you can replace this base with a crocheted base. I have several tutorials on the channel. In the description, I'll leave you the step-by-step instructions. You can also replace the space with a bigger one, or a smaller one. Here on this side is where the rounds join. Look how amazing it is. We start by closing in the center of the base. And as we keep working the stitches, this has been shifting. It's normal for this to happen because of the type of stitches we're working with. Here, I also want you to see that the closing blends in very well with the other stitches. It's a very neat, even join. And on the inside, the bag doesn't have any seam marks either. I'll take this opportunity to show you how spacious it is. Look how pretty. It's a roomy bag, very well structured, easy to make, with a beautiful finish. We're at the last stitch. Look, here we make the last double stitch. We're going to close it off by working one final round in slip stitch. Now, to give the edge of the bag a professional finish, we pull up this loop. And we go under the first chain. Look, from back to front, we take the reserved loop. And look, this loop has 2 strands. We take it to the back. We tighten it very well and pass the needle through. In the center of the strand. From back to front. Then we turn it and place the reserved loop. I repeat the process. We pass the needle between the 2 strands. From back to front. We turn the needle. We place the loop. And here we adjust. We adjust it very well. Until the thread underneath. This one is the same size as the others. So here we yarn over. We go through both. We're not going to finish off. We pass the hook through the center of the next chain. We yarn over, and we slip it into the little loop that we have on the hook. We go through the center of the next one. We continue this process all along the edge of the bag. We'll make the final stitch here. Here we cut the yarn. We pull it out, and we're going to finish it off. Make 1 chain. We pass the hook under the first chain. We yarn over and pull it back. We insert the needle into the center of the last, and from the yarn that's in the back. We take the yarn, and we bring it to the back. We adjust the stitch here. And look, here we've simulated a chain stitch, and the join turned out perfect. We're going to hide this strand under the stitches, just like we did before. At the end, at the tip underneath, you're going to put a dab of silicone glue, or you're going to sew a simple seam with needle and thread. To prevent the strand from coming out later, cut off the excess and hide the tip. Here's how the slip stitch round turned out. I'll give you the measurements now. In height, up to the first round of the base, it ended up being 20 centimeters. In width, 31 centimeters. If you want to make the bag a little taller, keep working rounds until you reach the desired height. And you finish by working the round in slip stitches. Now, let's cut a length of yarn. We wrap the bag like this. We take the piece. We position it carefully. Make sure it stays straight. Like this. Now we're going to fold the ends, like this. I placed markers on each corner of the bag to make sure that each side has the same number of stitches. So let's count. The stitches after the marker Look, here's the marker. I'm not counting it. I count the stitch after. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 stitches left on this side. On this side, I should have the same number of stitches. I count after the marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here in the center, I have 13 free stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not counting the stitches where the marker is. On this side, I have the same number of stitches. I use this as a guide to check that each side of the bag has the same number of stitches. And so that when I close it, one side doesn't end up bigger than the other. So you can use the same process as a guide. Arrange the bag. Close here very well, just as I explained before, and place the markers on the corners, in case one side has more stitches than the other. You move the markers along and adjust the piece as you go. We thread yarn into a tapestry needle. We take the bag, and we position whichever side you want to use as the right side. I'm going to leave this one. We insert the needle here, in the center of the stitches. I'm going to do it under the first round. Here, under the first round on this side. I'll do it here in the center. We go under on this side. And here on this side. We're going to do it here. And we move over here. We arrange it here very well. Look, it closes perfectly here. And on the tip, we're going to put these little golden beads. You can also use end caps. Take the tip. And here you pass the bead through. At the tip, you're going to make 3 knots. We're going to crochet the flap, or the clasp flap. We're going to make this with puff stitches. They're very simple stitches. We've already worked on them here on the channel, and I'm going to guide you step by step, so that the finish looks beautiful. We start by making a slip knot, and we'll crochet 18 chains. I finished the chains. Please check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Here we are not going to make any turning chains. We will work on chain number 17. The first stitch. The chain ended up measuring 14 centimeters. We'll work the first round in single crochet. We turn the chain. And we start here on the back bumps. They're on the back side. We pass the hook under the second little bump because the first one will be our turning chain. And we yarn over. We lift up to the height of the loop that's on the hook. Yarn over and close the stitch. Here we're going to work a sequence of 2 single crochets. Chain stitch, 2 single crochets, chain stitch. We make the first stitch. We go underneath, and we work the second stitch. We have 2 stitches. We're not going to work into the next one. We make a chain. This chain stitch will compensate for the stitch that won't be made here in the back bump. So here in the back bump, we place a marker. Here. We go under the next back bump. And we work a single crochet in the next one. Single crochet. Now we don't work into the third back bump. We make a chain. We skip that bump, and we place a marker. We move on to the next one. We make a single crochet. In the next one, single crochet. We have 1, 2, and we don't work into the third bump. Chain 1. And we move on to the next one. Here we have the last 3 bumps left. In this one, we make a chain 1. that means we don't work there. And in the last two, we make single crochet. 1, 2. We place the marker in this bump. I finished the first round with a single crochet. Here, I worked a total of 17 stitches, counting the chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We place markers in the chains where we didn't work stitches, because in those spaces is where we're going to make the puff stitch. Doing it this way makes it much easier for you, especially for those who are just starting out and are about to work with this beautiful stitch. So here we're going to chain 2, 1, and 2. We turn the piece. And here, where the first marker is, in that space, we insert the hook. And we make a single crochet. Now we're going to make the first puff stitch. And we're going to do it here in the corner, where the short strand is. Here, look here. To make a really nice puff stitch, the key is to organize the yarn very well. It should be untangled and with the opening facing down. We place the yarn on the hook. We go through that space. We yarn over. We pull up the loop to the height of the loop on the hook. We place the yarn on the hook again, and we go through the same space. Here we pull through. We arrange the strand again. We place the yarn on the hook again, and we pass it through that same space again. We yarn over. We pull it out. Look, we yarn over 3 times in the same space. And here we have the 3 loops nicely lined up. We yarn over the hook with the opening facing inward. We go through all of them. We close the stitch here, and that's it. Look at our first puff stitch. This is how it looks from the front. And here on the back, see how it's also nicely organized. We're going to make a single crochet, and we're going to do it here in the space where the marker is. We go under the whole chain and make a stitch. We're going to work the second stitch, and we're going to do it here, in the space where the first marker is. Look, right there where it is. We yarn over the hook. We open it a little bit. We pull it through and yarn over. We bring it up to the level of the loop on the hook. We yarn over the hook again. We pass it through again. Look, here we already have the 3 loops. In each space, we're going to insert the hook 3 times. Yarn over and pull through all of them. We close the stitch here. And we make a single crochet here. Look, it goes in the next space, on this side. Here we already have the second stitch. Let's make the third one. We place the yarn on the hook and insert the hook here into the second stitch. Look at it here. So we have to keep in mind that the stitch will always be underneath the puff stitch. Look at it here. This is the stitch where we made the single crochet. In this same stitch, right here where I made the single crochet, I'm going to work the next puff stitch. So here we place the yarn on the hook. We pass through where the marker is. We adjust the yarn. We go through here again. We adjust the yarn and go through all of them. We close the stitch. We're going to make the last stitch. We're going to do it here in the last chain. We make a single crochet here. And the puff stitch here at the last marker. Let's organize the yarn well if you see that it's tangled. Pull it. Lift it up and here, untangle it. Like this. Here, arrange it nicely and lift it up. Put the yarn on the hook and close the stitch. This stitch is the last one. It's a little bit harder because it's the one at the corner. Here, you adjust it a little bit.
Aye.
We finished the first round. We made 6 stitches. Look at how they turned out here on the back. How well organized and neat they look. Notice that when you move them, the yarn doesn't come apart. And that's because the stitches are nice and tight. The key to making the stitch look well organized is to keep the yarn nice and tight. It shouldn't be too tight, but not loose either. It should look like this, nice and snug. Here we finish the stitch. Now we'll make 1, 2 chains and turn the piece. We're going to start the second row. Here, I'm going to show you where to make the single crochets. And in that same space, you'll make the puff stitch. You're going to count the first chain, 1, 2, and in the third, see, that's the space that separates the 2 stitches. That's where you'll make a single crochet. Count 1, 2, and in the third, open it up a little and you'll see the space. That's where you're going to make the stitch. In that same space, you'll work the puff stitch. We'll make the first stitch there. Under the chain. And we're going to make the puff stitch here in the corner, under this strand.
Okay.
We place the yarn carefully on the hook. We pass the yarn 3 times through that space. We have 1, 2, and 3. Let's close the stitch. We make a single crochet in the third chain. 1, 2, and 3. We make the second puff stitch. We arrange the yarn on the hook. And we go here where we made the previous single crochet, right in that same space. We pull it up to the level of the loop on the hook. We're going to make the last stitch. We make the single crochet here. We count 1, 2, and in the third chain, we make the stitch. We insert the hook here where we made the previous stitch. We arrange the yarn. We pass. We draw it up. We position the yarn carefully on the hook. Here we go through all of them. We close the stitch. And we finish the second round. Look at how the piece looks. The stitches are well organized. This would be the right side. And look at how it looks here on the back. On this side, they should also be well organized. If you see that a strand is loose or not arranged properly, take a thinner needle, go under the strands and straighten them out. Go under the strands and organize them like this. We turn the piece and work a slip stitch border to give it a better finish. Insert the hook in the center of the second chain. Insert the hook, yarn over, bring it up to the height of the little loop that's on the hook, and here we slip. Go into the center of the next one, yarn over, and slip. Here in the last chain, see how it's hidden. Go through the center. Yarn over and slip. Here, go through the strand. Slip. We go from this side to the next chain. We continue working slip stitch in the center of each chain until we get here to the last one. We make the last stitch here. And with this, we finish the slip stitch border. Look how the piece turns out. Here on the back. How pretty. Now I'm going to give you the measurements. Lengthwise. It's 14.5 centimeters long. Widthwise, 7 centimeters. If you want to make this piece a little longer, at the beginning, in the chains, you will add in multiples of 3. Every 3 chains is 1 puff stitch. We made 18 chains, and we worked 6 puff stitches. To work 7 stitches, you need to add 3 chains for a total of 21. You can add chains depending on how long you want the piece to be. We are going to place the clasp. We remove this first piece. We set this one aside. And with the help of a small flat tool, we are going to open this part. We place the clasp in the center of the piece, and with the help of the flat tool, we push the stitches. We finish positioning the clip. We insert the stitches very well. We are going to close it. We use a small piece of fabric. We place it on top so we don't damage the clip. And with the help of pliers, we are going to close the prongs. We are going to sew it to the bag now. Here we cut the yarn. And here we are going to sew on the piece, right under this strand. Under these 2. Here on this one. We go under this one. And here we make a stitch. Here we make the last one. And in total, there would be 5 stitches. We take the piece. We've already found the center here. And this is where the yarn is. So we're going to do the stitching here. Where the first round begins. We're going to bring the yarn inside. We arrange it here. Make sure it's well centered. We go under the yarn I showed you, and here, in the yarn that's in front. We pick up the yarn we already have at the bottom. And here we make a slip stitch. We go under both strands. And in front, we yarn over. We go through both, and here we slip, right here under the bump. And right here in front. Right here under the first strand. And here. Here, the last one. There, the piece is well centered. Now, let's pull out the strand. With the help of a thinner needle, we're going to finish it off by simulating a chain stitch. We go under the last one here, right on the side. We take the reserved thread, and we pull it to the back. Now, we go through the center of the last chain stitch. Adjust that strand so it's the same size as the others. And there, we can already see the closure. So we're going to take this strand over here. First, under this one. And now here. Now it's done. Look how it turns out. Here the seam sits very nicely. We're going to hide this strand under the stitches just like we've done before. Now that we have this piece in place, we're going to attach the bottom part. We center it here very well, and here you can place the clasp at whatever height you want. With the help of pliers, we're going to bend the little tabs inward. You need to do this very carefully. There. I finished attaching the clasp. Look, the little tabs should be facing inward. Now we arrange it here. And we attach the clasp. Look how beautiful it turned out. For the handle, we're going to make a magic circle. We pass the hook under the first strand, take the second one, twist, take the second strand again, and make a stitch here. We're going to make 6 stitches inside the circle. Insert the hook, yarn over, and complete the stitch here. We finish the first one, insert the hook again, and make the second stitch. Continue like this until you have 6 stitches. 4, 5, and 6. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We take the short strand, pull it, and look here. The circle is already closing. What are we going to do? We are going to make a tubular handle with a slip stitch. We insert the hook into the center of the chain. Like this. Taking the strand that's at the back, from this side in the center, taking the back strand. We pass the hook through the center of the first chain, yarn over, and here we slip the first one into the one we already had. We pass the hook through the center of the next chain, yarn over, and slip. In the center of the next one, yarn over and slip. This is the process we'll follow. Here we're going to work in a spiral. We won't close the round. We'll work continuously instead. We can see the circle is already closing. Look, the yarn that's here on top, we just pass under it and make a slip stitch. This is how the handle is turning out. Look how pretty it is. We're going to keep making slip stitches in the center of each chain until we reach the desired length. I'm going to work until I reach about 30 centimeters. I finished the length of the handle. Look how pretty it looks. It's a tubular handle with a slip stitch, very sturdy. Here we're going to close it up. We pass the needle, not through the first, but through the second loop. We skip the next one, and we pass the needle through the next loop, making a slip stitch. We skip the first one, and in the second one, we slip. We skip the first one, and in the second one, we slip. Here we do the last one. We skip the next one and slip. We cut the yarn and pull it through. We do the same process on this side. The length is 30 centimeters. We arranged the handle very well and placed the rings here in the first space. Here. We place the handle on this side, passing the stitches under the slip stitches. We're going to do it here. We close it. To make the tassel, we're going to cut 9 strands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 40 centimeters long. We're going to take a small piece of yarn. We pass it through the center and make 2 little knots here. We take the bell, loosen the screws, and pass the yarn through. If you want, you can put a drop of silicone first to secure the t-shirt yarn really well. With the help of a small screwdriver, we're going to tighten the screws here. I finished the whole process of the bag. I'm going to give you the measurements. The height at the center is... It ended up being 22 centimeters. Including the handle, the height is 31.5 centimeters. Width at the top, 18 centimeters. And at the base, 27 centimeters. The bag ended up weighing 610 grams. That's the total amount of material I used in the process. I'll show you all the details. Look how beautiful it is. It's a very good-sized bag, with an excellent finish. Easy to make. Look how pretty it is. The base turned out beautiful. The handle. Here is the flap. Look how beautiful the stitches look. I hope you enjoyed the whole process and that you put it into practice. If so, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment as a sign of appreciation. See you in the next class. God bless you. Bye.